Welcome back to the Minifans show on the Kirkman and Network.
Oh, Jesus, rub my nipples and call me
from
Sloppy.
Providence with
already
TJ
derailed.
Hubbard, Timmy Canton, and Ari Minahan. Gentlemen, thank you once again for making sure that we're able to get on early. I really appreciate it. So
you need your sleep. You need your sleep.
I do need my sleep. But all right, so do you guys either want to? I'm going to open you guys up with a story. Do you guys either want to hear? Some of you might have heard about my gym story, or would you like to hear about what happened today with the X?
X
gonna give it to you.
X.
So I go to pick up. I leave work early today. Today's my little guy's day in school, so I got to be there at 1:45 to get him. So I go pick him up, and we have been struggling to find something to do when we're with each other. As far as like, we can play basketball, but I mean, there is no sports pretty much for the town right now. There's not a lot going on. I can't go to a movie, can't go to lunch. Just struggling. So the thing that we came up with, something that me and his brother used to do, I went and bought him a couple $100 remote control car. It's fucking fun.
Oh, we're not live. Like we're just.
No, we're live.
No, we're not
live.
All right, regardless. So I bought him a $200 remote control car. It's fucking badass. It goes like 45 miles an hour. We're having fun. So I go pick him up today from school, and I was like, let's go get the car after we're done going to the gym, and we'll go to the skate park, use all the jumps and everything. He goes, oh yeah, I haven't tried it since Danny put on the on the thing to keep it from popping a wheelie and running in the back. I was like, so
Danny.
Dan the man.
I said,
is that the guy you almost killed who's got 3 purple hearts on the Medal of Honor?
So I freaking look over and I go, and I'm trying not to get mad at him. I was like, what are you talking about? So I didn't say anything. So I texted his mother.
Did you give him the belt?
No, I did not give him the belt. But like, tell me if I'm on.
Did you just say?
So like,
Dan is one letter away from dad.
So I don't understand.
Oh yeah, Daddy Danny.
Did I say Dan? Dad? I meant Dan.
Like, it bothered me. It bothered me because I know it wasn't him. It couldn't have been him.
This kid calls him Steve.
No.
Does Dan have a kid that calls you Uncle Steve?
Hey, Steve.
Son was going to, hey, Steve.
So am I wrong in thinking that's a little fucked up? Is that fucked up?
What did he tell your son to do?
He didn't tell my son to do
anything. What did he fix his car?
So he didn't fix shit. He just
they make something cooler than you could make it.
Yes. But that so the thing that bothered me, this is our thing that we do. Like, this is our thing. Like,
well, it was your thing.
You know, that's the other thing. So I guess
it's no longer your thing.
So I was like, well, he goes, so we're gonna go play with the car, and to be like kind of a wise ass, I was like, well, why don't you go play with Dan?
Misty watercolored man.
He's like Carrie Elston, Larry. He's like, look, pal, the claw.
The claw.
You know what I mean?
Fucking mad. Fuck you. I'm fucking mad about this, boy. It fucking pissed me off.
I'm on your side.
Just trying to help you out.
I was just like,
I'm on Steve's side.
I was just like, you know what? That's our thing. Like, I was like, so I texted his mother. I was like, can't you fucking? Why doesn't he spend time with his own kid? Why does he spend time? Why does he?
You should spend time with his kid as a revenge.
Well, he only gets it once every other weekend. So
exactly.
I was like, we're a fucking scumbag. Like, go get a better lawyer. Go get a fucking better lawyer. Find some more.
That's rich coming from you.
Oh, fucking scumbag. I get my kid every day.
$3,000 a week in child support.
Oh, fuck me. All right. Well, anyway. All right.
Sucks.
So
it's gonna end soon, right?
Yeah, 48 more months. So
48 easy payments of.
But who's counting?
Yeah.
$15.99.99.
Hello, Rent-A-Center. For a new TV.
So we are.
I'm on your team, Steve. Fuck that guy.
I think we all are. Yeah. Fuck that dude.
A lot
of
things.
know your boundaries. Yeah.
I'm gonna text him, say he's a good father.
Daddy Dan.
So a lot of things happening since last week. I want to go in order from what they heard. So Justin we already congratulated Justin on getting hired. Looks like hopefully he's going to start getting paid pretty soon. Justin decided to introduce a whole new lineup of 45 easy listening shows through to YouTube. I caught a little bit of shit today. I think it's good that he's kind of like jumping in. What we did just talk about, which I'm going to keep to myself, I kind of don't like about what he decided to to do. Ra, I think you're on my side with this.
Yeah.
But I do think it's good that he's kind of like getting some stuff together, getting some kind of format. Do you guys think that he should have went about it a different route and asked Kirk and Steve about maybe what direction they wanted to bring the YouTube in, or do you think it's good on him to just kind of put it together all himself?
Well, I think that. Oh, okay.
Well, just to me, I don't. The way you went about it. What are you gonna do? You can't. You better to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission. But didn't someone who's on hiatus try to get involved with like too many shows about too many topics and couldn't nail down which one was really worth doing and spread himself too thin?
Yeah, he's fading away pretty quickly, huh?
Yeah.
I haven't heard much about him over the last 3 days.
I just think it's too much stuff, too many topics. You can't. It's like going to a restaurant. It's got a 5-page menu. You can't do everything right. Can't have how they do anything good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like, when you go to pick up numbers out of a hat, you throw like 20 in there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of shows. I mean, I got 2. All right, you come on this one and the other one. Tim Canton, you go on a couple. But I don't know. Sometimes I've said this in the past. Sometimes the channel gets a little bit convoluted. But I mean, who really cares? Like, I don't know. I don't know if we should really care how many. Is there something going on with the ceiling?
Did you mean diluted? Did you mean diluted?
Did I? Diluted. Convoluted?
Alluded?
Did I?
Polluted?
Colluded is what you're trying to say. Colluded.
Wait a second here.
For once,
all right, you're the smart
Steve
one.
has derailed.
What does convoluted
This is
mean?
a first. This is a first.
Give me the definition of convoluted.
Convoluted is okay. All right.
No.
What do you
No.
think it
Give
means?
it to me.
What do you think it means?
It means it's a mishmash. It's all mashed up. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then what the fuck are we doing?
Especially of an argument, story, or sentence, extremely complex and difficult to follow.
Yes.
I like
TJ's
TJ's definition better. Mishmash. I like that better.
Well, it's basically the same thing.
A little convoluted.
So Steve's
but does it really matter? I mean, if he's pushing out shows that if 5 people like this show and 10 people like this show, and it's still, and I don't know if I guess I really don't fucking know. Like, would it be better if we just kept it to like 10 shows on the channel or 200?
Yeah,
that's not me to decide. I don't have any expertise.
All right. Do you think that that the shows should have something in line to do with the actual main show, or do you like the idea that you got like the Channel Zero guys, you got the guys that talk about marijuana, do you got guys that talk about anything? Do you think that they should all strictly have something in some sort of thing to do with the show?
I'm a little biased because I have a show that has nothing to do with the show. But I mean, the way I believe the way Kirk pitched it originally was you can do whatever you want because it's free. It's empty space. You've got the network. You can have fans just talk about whatever. I think he was being a little tongue in cheek when he said, all these things have to, they have to do with the show. But Justin the Minifans on Saturday was saying he wants to trim the fat on YouTube.
Yeah, took his whole
he took a huge stand and said, most of this shit is just garbage.
Yeah.
He said he's making cuts. He wants 5 shows on the YouTube. Comes around today, tweets out, we got 85 new shows starring Justin. So Justin. I think we can see Justin's getting a little bit of a big head.
Give the guy $5 an hour for pay, and it goes right to his head.
But
tyrant.
I do think that Justin, he obviously loves it. Hopefully he gets paid for it. But I do think maybe he has the time to do it. I don't know.
Yeah, let me add.
We can bring him in.
Good mother, Justin, come in here.
Y'all bring him in. There he is.
What's happening? So So first of all, one of the first show was actually brought to me by Adam Minahan and Stephen Providence. The second show was brought to me by
breaking news.
Which one was that?
Was brought to me by Quantum Wee Chris and Ted. And then the third show, I thought, hey, you know what? With this whole Barstool thing going on, I think it would be really good to get like betting involved and maybe.
What's the first show? Wait a minute.
Yeah, we got to get back to that.
So first show is the movie. Monday thing.
I'll say
Second
which-
show is the director's chair or whatever it is, which is
Wait, to watch them.
so
Movie Watch
Steve
Mondays
wanted us
is
to have
Adam
just like
and
a-
Steve.
wanted to
Correct.
have a group watch of movies.
correct.
Holy fucking shit, that's terrible.
Okay, so I,
That's not
so,
what it is.
Like every week, just like grab your
Oh.
popcorn, kids, and
Oh my
sit by the
God.
computer.
No, that's not what it is.
so for the first show,
No wonder why your kid hates you. Holy
I will be
shit!
I will be in the background, just doing my thing while Steve and Adam, talk about. I don't want to give away what movie it is, but
Was Kirk aware that Adam was involved in this?
Is it Top Gun?
No.
it's not Top Gun.
It's fucking. Listen, here's the deal.
Cobra.
So we. Had
I'm not. I'm
oh,
not
I
done.
wish.
I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm not done.
Say your piece.
The third show, I think it would be good to get more people involved in the betting universe, especially since how we have that whole Barstool app that might be coming to Massachusetts soon. So I think that, and I've already had like 5 people message me saying how much they want to get this betting show off. The sixth. The fourth show is just the stupid thing I've thought of, where I'm going to be talking about stupid TV shows that might have been canceled.
The video game.
And then video games was a play on Drop the Mic, because Mike had one about he's really big into comedy. I'm really big into video games, so I'm going to talk about video games for 20 minutes.
Do you know how to play video games?
I do. I'm very good.
It makes
He's
you
right
better
there.
than
Favorite
Mike.
video game.
But do you see what's happening here? Like you were trying to
It's a
describe
video
these
game.
6 shows, and you can't even recall them all.
No, I can.
How would you be able to go on? Well, you wouldn't be on all of them, but you'd be producing, right?
Yeah, I mean, it
Can you,
takes.
can you make a Twitch where me and Stephen Providence maybe play each other in Call of Duty and yell at each other?
I mean, sure.
'Cause I would love to do
Oh, I
that.
can't wait for this movie show.
Justin, thank you
Oh my
very
God,
much,
that
buddy.
sounds fucking terrible.
Thank you, Justin.
And I never
Alright.
said I wanted to trim the fat. I said,
Sorry.
Listen, first off,
Trim the
I don't know
fat.
what that last point was. I have no idea.
horrible explanation. So what's going on is myself, Adam, and Kevin are going to be doing a movie watch of next Monday. We're going to be doing Rocky 3, and then the following Monday is Rocky 4, which are 2 of the greatest movies of all time.
I'd watch Rocky 4.
I do.
It
I love
single-handedly
Rocky.
brought down communism.
Wait, is Rocky 3
Clover
Mr.
Lang.
T. Mr. T. Clover
no,
Lang.
the other guy.
Mr. T.
Mr.
Keep
T.
going. Keep going. There's one more guy in that.
Apollo
What's his
Creed.
Apollo?
Nope. There's one other guy. Has
Hulk
a nice-
Hogan.
What's his name?
Oh,
his name's
Thunderlips.
Thunderlips. That's right.
Thunderlips.
Thunderlips, man.
That's at the beginning. There's a charity
He's the
box.
star of that fucking movie.
He is not. He's in there for
Yeah, I
8
know.
minutes. But anyway, so
So it's going to be basically
So you
Matt-
skip the first 2
Matt-
Rockies.
it's going to be Matt Dillon. It's going to be hosted by Matt Dillon, Kevin Dillon, and then what? Brian Dillon or Paul? Oh, there's Tim too. There's Timothy Dillon.
You actually
No,
used
it-
9-inch.
I wanna know who's who.
Did you see it?
It's the Baldwin brothers.
I'm actually pretty excited about that, to be honest with you.
That-
I mean,
That's
you
gonna be a
guys-
good show.
you guys can
I'll
shit
give
all
it
over,
Terrible.
but it's something different. It's gonna be shitty outside. Everything's getting closed down again. I know that the show did want to do something where they had movie night, or they, every now and then they watched a movie. It did not work. Well, it did work out well. A lot of people watched Bicentennial Man. Probably could have picked a better movie. But I mean, I think it's something to do, and I'm sure Kirk will end up doing one down the line. Steve will.
Oh,
Probably do it.
I'll be watching
I'll
every
watch Rocky
episode.
4,
Don't get me
yeah.
wroong.
All right.
I love Rocky 4.
Okay, so we're
Thunderlips. Just the same with Thunderlips.
YouTube business out of the way. Why?
Wait,
What?
I got a slight question. I think I have something lined up for the next 2 weeks. I'd like to know if you're gonna come up. It's gonna be a Halloween special.
Come up where? Up there?
The fucking Florida. Yes,
I
up here.
don't know. I gotta work. Listen, why is Will moving to Massachusetts? That's what I need you guys.
Isn't he
to
still in
explain.
school?
No.
All
How
right,
does that
no.
work?
All right, so this part
Dive League, I
confused me.
know that.
I like Will, and I like people that it seems like he's almost done with school, and I hope to God he's finishing school. I am not. I don't, just like you guys, don't know a lot about podcasting other than listening to it and what a download equals. Before someone would relocate, I think he's what, 28, 29 years old. Before someone would relocate for the strictly the purpose of producing a podcast, wouldn't you want to know how long that podcast is going to last,
Or what it's about?
or what it's about, or how, like, is this thing going to
What makes
last?
it unique?
Is this thing going to last? I mean, I just think that this is a little nuts. Like, and I wish him a lot of luck. And I don't know her, but like, what if maybe you guys could explain to me why he has to move down here?
Well,
To
he's going to
produce
be
it in
producing the
person,
show.
yeah.
Yeah, produce it in
Produced it
person.
in person.
Okay.
He's going to pay Big Steve and cigarettes.
To
and,
be- I don't know. Is it to be closer to Kirk?
I don't.
Versus
I
shrooms.
just
you know,
see-
Kirk kind of thought everybody's trying to get a cut. That's what he said today. You know, I don't know.
Will's description was outstanding. That was freaking hilarious. That was so great.
The best part was when Steve asked, like, okay, so what percentage of all gamblers in the United States are female? And Will just goes, fuck.
but like
Because I don't have the numbers in front of me, man. But that'd be great if I had that answer.
they have
It's
no
like,
idea what they're going to get for listen. Now you can't. You sure as fuck can't go off the EEI numbers because there's nobody listening to that. So if you got
God.
like 10% of the people or 20% that listen to her at night, that came over with it, that's not enough to sustain a podcast that has to pay wages for Will, and she has to pay herself, I'm assuming.
Sure.
Wouldn't you want to do it really like? It sucks to say, like in your basement, get out a couple episodes, see what you're getting as far as for download
Just do it
numbers
remotely first.
before you hired
Yeah.
a producer and said, "Listen, come on down and move down here." That's something Justin, in my eyes, should have. In my mind, Justin should have been reached out for something like this. I understand Will needs a job, and Justin has one now, thank God. But I just think that this should have been done a little bit different. In my eyes, speaking as an adult, if Will was my son, I would say you're a fucking idiot. You're not going down to Boston to produce this podcast. That's just
I'll defend Will on that one. I'll give him credit for willing to try something. You don't always, you know how it is. You don't always have a plan. Even at 28, you probably should by now. But who really does?
He's 28.
He's like,
Isn't he?
32,
Oh,
I
maybe
think.
he's only
I thought he was
35.
30. I think it was 32.
How many years of
I don't
corner
think
has
he's
he
that old.
done?
But he's
had
giving it a
wilderness
try. He wants to get into it. So I'll give him credit for that. He really wants to get into podcasting, and sometimes you spend more time planning than executing. And he's at least saying, "Fuck it, I'm going to give it a whirl, see how it goes." Who knows? I give him credit for that.
I'll use Steve for Providence's adjective from earlier. Diluted is what I would say. The podcast is. There's so many podcasts about.
In podcast world.
Yeah, there's so many.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many sports ones. I mean, there's a few that are obviously up top tier. There's a few comedy ones that are top tier, and of course, Rogan's is top. But then below that, I mean, that's what I see. 15 people. 15,000 downloads would be good.
I heard the
Holy
magic
shit.
number was 5.
Wow.
The magic number is 5,000 downloads to be able to make it.
Stop monetizing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any money.
Jesus.
But I think it's a good move on Courtney Fallon's part hiring Will. Look what we're doing right now. We're talking about it. She knows that he's part of this world.
Let's say that Kirk talked about it, so now we're talking about it. Otherwise, I don't think I'd have talked.
But exactly, she knows that if she brings in Will, who's a shithead, who Kirk thinks is a shithead, he'll shit on that podcast, whether it's the best podcast or the worst podcast. It won't even matter.
Who do you think Kirk hates more, Will or Bob Merchant?
It's
Probably Will.
I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I think it was who would he rent out to first, like Shirley Lung or Will? And he was
Shirley.
Shirley, probably.
Yeah.
But
if
But it is
respects
kind of
work,
savvy.
one
It is
thing.
kind of savvy on Courtney Fallon's part. She seems to know what
Yeah.
she's doing as far as
Yeah.
getting buzzed before there's even an episode out.
But to TJ's point, that's a lot of dough in rent. $75 an hour. Maybe they get down to 60, $65 an hour to do a podcast. When do you really need that overhead? I don't know.
Not right away.
Yeah, right.
So
get your feet under you.
I got a little bit of experience in this because I keep thinking I'm going to relocate my office and start my own thing separate from my house and not work out of my house, but actually lease a space. And every time I think of it, I'm thinking, are you don't do that?
Whoa,
Yeah,
And what's
Justin.
the answer that you come back with?
I am not.
Justin shaking his head.
There's no sense of me spending money in overhead when I don't need to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand that. If
So
you
I'm
could do-
looking real quick. Have you guys seen the Staples new office space that they have?
No.
Have you guys seen? So if you go in the
No.
back of some of the Staples stores, they now have co-worker space. It's like
okay.
shared space.
Sure.
They actually have podcasting space at those locations.
Really?
With
Okay.
microphones and everything. I'm looking right now. Full-time membership, $300 a month.
And like you would think that someone would look into that rather than, and listen, I'm all for the show getting rent money. For God's sakes, Tim, you and I are going to be there for a period of time living in one of those rooms.
Yeah.
Which we're going to
Shitting
get
kitty
200.
litter.
$2,000 a month, though. I don't know. We're gonna have to talk to
I,
Steve about that.
I thought that the whole thing was with all those rooms that they had there, and this is probably me overthinking. I thought at some point in time some Barstool guys were going to relocate back to Boston and maybe share some of the. I guess Barstool pays the bills, but I thought some of the other Barstool guys would be using.
I think that
some of the
that was like a thought at first, was maybe this will turn to like Barstool Boston, but
yeah.
given the up and down
Still-
relationship, I don't know if that's gonna.
It still very well could happen.
I mean, Carrabba's could. I mean,
we'll
Carrabba's
see
could
what
be there.
happens this winter with COVID and everything else.
But
And how
I
many
think it
other
was
viruses pop up.
brilliant
know?
by Kirk, because let's face it, you got that nice big space, and it's more space to keep people away from him.
Sure.
The
Right,
buffer
smaller
zone.
space, the more. And speaking of which, did anybody notice that Steve sound like he caught COVID right after the interview with that guy from the Rivals podcast? All of a sudden, it sounded like he came down with the flu or a cold.
Scratch.
Go back and listen. You can tell.
Yeah.
Nose is all stuffy. Maybe
Wait,
it was all the BLM talk.
Okay, wait a second.
Hay
Here's
fever,
I got a
talk.
true test right here. True test.
Finger up the nose.
Tim and Ken,
Yes, sir.
what is Mrs. Minahan's cell phone number?
Oh, 617 842 6117.
Of course
It's fucking insane.
What?
All right,
It
so
is. It is. It's crazy. I
All right,
knew
so-
it. I had to ask.
So I wanted to touch a couple things before we get
Yeah,
into
that's
our
Frank
overnight
Klein.
show.
Unbelievable.
As I said earlier, it's Mike's name. I haven't. It's fucking floating away, and this is what happens. And this is my own mistake for thinking that it's not going to happen with certain people. And every time that someone either comes or goes, whether it was 5 years ago or within the last month or so, names they come in, they go, and they float away, and then you never think about them again. And unfortunately for Michael, the show's been able to get a couple interviews, which ended up. I liked the guy yesterday a lot. The guy from Boston Magazine, John Saroff. That was fun.
Saraf.
That was fucking fun. I don't give a shit what anyone says. And like stuff like that makes you realize that you only need two people. And Steve is doing a great job of basically filling Mike's place and doing his own job at the same time. Are you guys happy? Would you be happy with just the way that it's currently constituted, where you have maybe a couple interviews a week, maybe someone come in studio like a Carrabba's or somebody else? Or would you want another third seat or somebody else there full time?
I think you need a third seat, or you need someone to help Steve do the other extracurricular activities. You know what I mean? Like, because now Steve had all the stuff he was doing, and now Steve's doing all that stuff. Plus, now he's being the third seat too. You know what I mean? So I don't know how long if that's sustainable over a period of time. Maybe he is. Maybe he's like, yeah, that's fine. It works out for him just fine. But I mean, I like it when they have Carrabba's on. I like it when they have guests on. It's always good. It's either poking fun at them or just talking to them and arguing or solidifying points, whatever it is.
All right.
Yeah, I kind of agree with TJ about Steve. He's not there to be on air personality, but he's doing a good job. He's got some crazy stories, like that step sibling story today.
Yeah,
that kind of threw me for a loop. That was I was doing math in my head, like trying to figure out so his daughter is also his niece or something like that, like his step niece. It's anyways. I know
step triplets, right?
Yeah, it's just it's messy, but I don't know. You're right about Mike though. Even the drops are starting to sound a little stale.
Yeah,
like when they went back at the end of the episode to play Ain't Talking About Love, I thought those were just mic drops. Like I didn't realize that it was Mike in the studio till like he started going after like the Minifans or something, like whatever he was doing at the time. But I would like to hear a third voice in there. I don't really want a casting couch like everyone, like the old EEI people are probably clamoring for, but I think they're doing fine right now. I mean, I still love the show.
I think if you, again, going back to that real quick, if Steve is doing the third chair a couple times a week, and the rest of the week they have Carrabba's on, or they have a couple other guests in studio, I think that's fine. I think that.
But we talked about last time. I don't think they're going to be able to get too many guests. Like it's COVID.
I know.
Yeah.
You have Carrabba's on Thursdays.
My take. every time I think the show is perfect and then it changes, I'm like, oh man, what's this going to be like? And then it's perfect again. So I'm the worst person to ask because I love when Mike's on. I love what Kirk and Steve are doing now. I like the guests that they had on. It's just like every time it evolves, I'm like, okay, it's freaking better than it was before. So I think I said it last time. I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming. I honestly don't care if they have guests or not. I think Kirk provides so much content, and having Steve there as the foil is outstanding. I mean, the call today where Ziggy asked about going to protest. Nobody knew that Steve went to a protest, and all of a sudden, Kirk's digging into this. The protest. Was he chanting?
The Proud Boys protest.
Amazing. It was freaking awesome.
Tim, I am willing to spend an overnight with you. I can't spend 48 hours. I can't. I listen. I know I fucked up.
I'm a dirty little man.
It's not that I can't. I have to. I can't fucking disappear for 48 hours. I'm willing to. 18 hours, I think, is 18 hours on tape the whole time. I'm willing to share a mattress with you, but I can't spend 48 hours. I can't. I have to work.
So, what I'm wondering is how I'm being punished in this whole thing. But I guess it's right now. It's because we've got our investment firm, so I guess that's punishment. But I am all for it. Although I have a feeling it's going to be more like you locked in a cage for 48 hours by yourself. And I did text you some of the things I'm going to buy for you while you're in there.
Yes. Well, I would just say this. So he said 48
I think it's a great
hours.
idea.
It's much like bargaining a union contract. He said 48. I say 12. And we'll see where we meet tomorrow. I'm sure he'll listen.
That would be 24, right?
Or 47 hours.
Yeah, I was say, when you're already showing your hand, like,
oh no.
Right.
What kind of negotiator are you?
I've ever heard.
Jesus Christ.
I got leverage.
I told you to get Coppadoodle to represent you, for God's sakes.
I could do 18 hours max, but we're going to negotiate.
That was crazy.
All right. So the other thing. So I'm not.
No, you're gonna do that, Steve?
Yeah.
You're willing to, right?
Yeah. Of course I will. What the fuck do I care? I got nothing.
I would think it would be unbelievable content. I don't know if you heard the part where Kirk said he's thinking of just having you in there while Will and Courtney are taping something, and you'll like jump in the corner.
No, wearing a ball gag and shit.
Yeah.
So how's the camera going to work? How's the camera going to work?
Sure
is it going to do a tripod or?
I'm sure they'd set up something.
Will's gonna smoke a cotton of Lucky Strikes right next to you.
Don't have to follow you around or.
Well, they said it's like a tiny room, so it'd probably just be like a 2-camera shoot,
like a security camera.
Yeah.
The other thing. So I'm not a big music guy. Though I do know who Van Halen is. But I'm more like Steve. Like Steve and I, we had talked before about music, but I don't think I'm not a passionate music goer like you guys are.
And that was really evident at the vigil when Steve pulls up to you and I.
Yes.
And I got the guitar out and everything else. Like, hey, what do you guys want to hear? They're like, do you got any Howie Carr?
Like I'm not. But
you know what I mean? Like, I mean, you pick out a fucking song, man. I had plenty of Van Halen lined up. I could play anything. It was fun. And you guys just went blank. You're
so,
like,
so with my lack of music knowledge, I'll start off with you, RA. How was that interview today? Because they could have been talking about anything and everything, and I had no idea what they were talking about today.
I kind of zoned out a little bit. It reminded me of Quantum Week when Carano just kind of goes off into music theory, and it seemed like they're getting really into the nitty gritty. Like I just enjoy the music. Like I'm not that interested in the juicy gossip behind it. Like I'm not that interested in it.
Yep.
But it was I liked the one yesterday a lot better just because it was more amusing.
Sure.
But as far as the music one's concerned, I was kind of with you. I was just kind of like, oh, okay, like.
Yep.
And it was fine. It was fine to listen to it, but
differing opinions here. I listened to that with great detail, opposed to yesterday's guy, shitting all over Trump and saying it was satirical and then going. Rah, rah, rah. So today's was great for me. I love Van Halen. Something I grew up on, obviously. And like Kirk said, he had to choose between Van Halen and Bruce Springsteen. Well, he went one way and I went the other. I was all Van Halen. And
I bet he's very jealous of the choice he made.
And I was not, and like Kirk, I was not a fan of Sammy Hagar coming in. It was kind of like, I don't know. It was more mainstream, like he was saying. Whereas, it's funny, a little note about Van Halen. Gene Simmons tried to get them signed to his label in '77, and the label said they weren't good enough. Go ahead, Tim.
Oh, what? I'm sorry. What?
Go ahead. You're gonna
Tim,
You're
are
gonna,
you a big music goer, Tim?
add into that or what?
I freaking love music. I've been in bands. I love music,
Hey.
and I'm with TJ. I loved what they were talking about today. I've since listened to 3 episodes. By the way, Steve, at 1.25 speed, so it was a little quicker than normal. And I love I love the inside baseball stuff. I'm not a huge Van Halen fan, but I certainly respect the music and think they've changed the music scene. And you cannot deny how amazing a guitarist Eddie Van Halen was. And so
by Rolling.
just incredible. So I loved hearing today the inside baseball, and I didn't know some of the bands that I liked, like Joy Division, New Order. There was such a huge rift, and Talking Heads, I'm a fan, not a huge fan, but I had no idea about some of the crap that went on there. So I find that all very, very interesting of how some of these bands come to be and how much they freaking hate each other.
I would rather blow a line of guys right now than listen to this conversation any further, to be completely honest with you.
Right. I know.
And Justin,
Probably
I hope
hide
you
in the
clip
corner
that.
and rope one off the Radiohead. I know.
Rather a will.
Rather.
All right, you guys got anything before we get out of here? Anything at all? So, I am
Live
doing,
show.
Huh?
I said live show. What do you guys think of them
get one
not being too optimistic about the live show?
Madawaska?
Well, Matt, they kept talking about like the drive-in.
Oh, fall.
Oh,
New Hampshire, the fall live show.
I
I don't
there's
think it's
so
happening.
much.
I don't see it how it happens.
This sucks, and I hate to be a negative bastard about this. It doesn't. I don't know if the Wilbur's ever going to happen. I don't know if we're going to go to Madawaska, because what is it going to be? 50 people? I mean, is it really worth it for the show?
$1,000 a ticket.
Yeah.
It sucks right now.
There's no
Like
place to stay
Crucifix.
up there other than some random guy's Airbnb.
Like,
Hell yeah.
Like I just seen like Florida.
It's pretty nice.
It wasn't bad, right?
It was the smallest bed I've ever been in.
Florida's
than-
I
opening
had
up.
the master bedroom. That was fun.
What is it? What did they say about Florida
What?
for the Dolphins games opening up? Almost full admit, everyone can go in there. 65,000 people. That's in Florida. But then you come up here and there's 50 people allowed. And
Well,
Rhode Island, any more than 15, you call the hotline and then you get a $50 reward. Like, it's fucking insane.
I do think.
I'm
I
gonna start
think-
dropping dimes.
think
Hey,
Madawaska
there's 15 people.
will
Give me the money.
will absolutely happen, because I think it'll be like like Kirk always talks about Bruce having that small venue here and there, his acoustic venues of 50, 100 people. So I think it'll happen in that sense, that it'll be a really small gathering of fans and it'll just be different but quaint, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Tim, I will tell you this for the fans that went up there that actually liked the show.
Fuck
it is
you.
fucking cold.
I
and it
had a
has to be
fucking
It was
inside.
hockey
chilly.
tournament.
I bet.
But anyway, all right.
My kids wanted me to go to their event. Fuck you.
I think we're gonna have a better grasp on any live event in about 28 days. That's my guess.
All right.
Mm,
And if I have to drive 7 hours through a fucking whiteout blizzard again to get to
let's
Madawaska,
go.
I got one
Let's
thing.
go.
What's up?
Tomorrow, mark your calendar, October 8th, the month of Kirk's birthday. Tomorrow is episode number 300. Regardless of what Steve says, yes, there are episodes where Kirk was not on, but tomorrow is the 300th episode of a Kirk Minahan show being posted to the RSS feed.
Awesome. Congratulations.
But
on that.
there are some semantics there, so we will find out when the actual 300th is with Kirk. But what an incredible number to have after a year and 3 months.
Something like that, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Freaking
and I got
amazing.
one last question. Steve from Providence,
Yes.
can you get a Friday or Saturday night off in the next couple weeks?
I'm sure that me and you can text about this when we're not
Sounds
doing
like a
this, and
date.
I can go to bed. Yes, I'm sure we can make something happen.
Oh boy.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
All right, you got anything? When's history buffs this week?
Get your
What do they
butt,
call?
get your butt plugs
We're
ready.
filming tomorrow. We drop Friday.
Ooh, no.
What are we covering?
The election of 1860.
Oh, what you wanted to talk about tonight?
Kind of, yeah. Believe it or not.
Awesome. All right, Justin, we are all set. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.